There's some characters in Marvel Strike Force that don't live up to their MCU and comic book counterparts. Who are they? I am going over the top 5 in this video with my brother CubsFan Han, and if you are ready for all that, guys, you know what to do. Let's go smash it!
ValleyFlyin.
What is up, Valley Maniacs? ValleyFlyin here. I am back. Welcome to the channel. Hope you are having a happy holidays. I am joined by my brother CubsFan Han. How are you doing, man?
Dude, what is going on? So we've done some collabs over on your smaller channel,
yes,
and now I'm on the big one.
You're on the big one. You're on the big one because this is kind of related to you. Some of you may know CubsFan Han from Star Wars. You're a very, very veteran player in that game, but a little newer to Marvel Strike Force, and this is very relevant to newer players.
New/old, because I was there around launch, kind of ditched it, and lately Mobile Gamer, I'm real good friends with Mobile Gamer. I was out at his place, and he's like, just play it. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll play it. So I'm going to start covering it on YouTube.
Nice.
So I'm a total noob, though. If you guys saw our video over on my channel, I'm still like level 28. I restarted my account.
Well, this is a perfect topic for you, brother, because I am talking about the characters that you probably don't want to build up too much because they are not as good.
This video's going to break my heart, isn't it? Because I care deeply about the MCU.
It might.
I've seen all of the shows, all the films. I've read a lot of the comics, and this is gonna make me sad to hear about some characters that aren't good, isn't it?
They are not living up to their counterparts, and these are big characters, guys. These are iconic characters. All of them kind of have their standalone movies, and some of them have multiple standalone movies. And in Marvel Strike Force, they're just not that iconic. So let's get into it, guys. Top 5, starting off number 5. This one is very, very painful for me to say. It is my boy, the Hulk. Now, Hulk has had a bunch of movies. The Hulk he's had a bunch of TV movies in the 70s, 80s, 90s. He's had MCU movies. He's had another movie in 2003. One of my favorite characters overall, as far as the MCU and comics, but yeah, not as good in Marvel Strike Force. He did have a rework, so believe it or not, he was worse than he is now. He does have that fear factor, but even if he's a good character, he's not the Hulk.
So I remember when the game first started, Hulk is one of the achievement characters, right?
Yes,
you kind of just gain his shards. And I remember finally unlocking him when I first played the game, and it felt to me like he made a big difference back then. This is a very early game. He felt like a great tank. Tell me if I'm wrong, but he kind of shined a little bit in the beginning game when the game first launched. So maybe he had his time, but was that just where I was at? Am I wrong?
I think it might have just been your roster. I think it might have been just been your roster and what
so
was
he's never
around
really
at that
had
point.
A moment to shine.
Not as
this is a crime.
As the Hulk. I mean, he at one point he was an okay character. By the time you unlocked him, like, oh, he's the Hulk, and then when you finally build him up, like, oh, he's not the Hulk. He just looks like the Hulk.
So he's kind of like Bruce Banner in Endgame, where he's like, smash.
Yes, the smart Hulk that's not as violent, not as strong. That is the Hulk we got in the game, but
dang,
even with this rework and that fear factor, he's just not the power level that I think he should be. But yes, number 5 on this list is the Hulk.
Taking him out of my favorites now.
Unfortunately, yeah, and it's not like you could go out of your way to farm him. You're just gonna be able to farm him with the daily achievements and just doing things. But yeah, I wouldn't put too many resources into him because even at endgame, there's not really a good team that you could put Hulk on. Next character that does not live up to expectations as far as their iconic billing. Now, this is a character that might not be the strongest in the MCU, but she does have her own movie. In 2005, Elektra got her own movie, and it was not a very good movie. She had a pretty big role in the Defenders TV series, but Elektra, not one of the best characters in the game. It is a very early game character that you're probably going to rely on a lot in the early game, but once you get to the mid-game, end-game, you're not going to really use Elektra. What are your thoughts on Elektra right now, where you are in the game?
It's one of the few characters you could have mentioned that I actually have farmed right now.
Yes, I think there's an event for her in the beginning. I don't know if they still do
so
that,
I got her unlocked, using her. It doesn't disappoint me a ton. Elektra, the movie back in 05 that you cited, and even the Defender series, she's never a character that I was that connected to, and so like Hulk versus Elektra, the disappointment drop off is big for that one. Like I'm real disappointed about Hulk, and in particular,
Hulk is the Hulk. There's nobody that in my mind that compares to the Hulk.
And I was shocked when you told me that there isn't really a solid Avengers team. Like what? No. What the heck is that about?
Well, right now a lot of the Avengers are split off to their own teams. So you got Thor.
They need to assemble. All right, we come on, Fox Next. We must assemble. CubsFan Han is in the game now. It's time to assemble.
They're all off on their own teams. They're not together anymore. And that's what happens to Avengers now. Elektra,
so this is post Civil War.
Yeah, sort of. I guess. Right. But Elektra, not the iconic character that she should be. Now I don't know if she was really iconic, but she did have her own movie, so that does say something about this character.
Elektra's pretty iconic. So. I think she's a well respected and liked character in the comics too. So.
Yes.
I think it's fair to include her.
Yes. Very valuable, like I said, in the early game, because that is one of the early game characters that you're going to get, but I don't really have a use for her. She's on a very mediocre hand team right now. All right. This next one might disappoint you. Number 3 kind of had his own movie. He was a major part of somebody else's movie, and his name was actually in the title of somebody else's movie. It is the Winter Soldier, part of Captain America Part 2,
really?
Captain America Part 3. Yes.
Okay.
Not one of the best characters in the game. He's a member of that Hydra faction and has a very scary opening turn barrage. It was actually scarier back in the day when there wasn't a bunch of other characters that could counter different things that high damage characters can do. But Winter Soldier, kind of an iconic character, a major part of Civil War, major part of the Winter Soldier Captain America movie, and it's not that iconic.
Arguably
right now
the best MCU movie, in my opinion. Arguably, it's up there. Captain America: Winter Soldier.
Oh, that was a good one. All of them. I enjoy all of the Captain America movies, all 3 of them.
Yeah, they were all really good.
Winter Soldier. Actually, Bucky was a part of the first one as well. So, not that great in this game. There's no real team for him. I think most people kind of put him on a villain's team by default, but not really a great character. I think a lot of people are expecting a Hydra rework at some time when Red Skull comes out. So maybe at that point, it will be his time to shine on a full Hydra team with some slight reworks to his kit. But as we stand now, there's no real team for Bucky, and his kit not very good. So Bucky, unfortunately, is on this list.
He's never had a rework?
He's never had a rework as far as I remember. He might have had some minor ones way back in the day, but nothing major in time recent that ever brought him into the I gotta use Winter Soldier.
Well, maybe they'll bring in a new version of him. They'll just call him Bucky instead of Winter Soldier, and he'll be
could be with his old original costume that he followed Captain America in. You remember that one?
Yeah, I do. So I think it's something that's interesting I want to point out about all 3 of these characters. All 3 of them were around very close to launch.
Yes.
And so it's interesting. They're all, I think, just kind of had their time. I remember Bucky not being too bad when I was playing early in the game. I don't remember him being amazing, but
his turn 1 is very good. His turn 2 is okay, and then he's just nothing after that.
He's got to drop off.
And his turn 1 is just a single target damage, which back in the day was pretty scary. Nowadays, just damage alone just doesn't do it for Winter Soldier. Let's talk about the next one though. This character actually had 2 MCU movies and was not around at launch. Ant-Man.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Ant-Man. So Ant-Man. I don't know if it bothers me because Ant-Man. I really liked his role in Endgame, but he was. I remember when they said they were bringing in the movie, I was like, Ant-Man, really? Of all the characters,
I feel the same way. I was like, what?
I don't. But I love the way that they included him, so I still love the character. But it also makes sense to me that he's not super OP. I don't have a problem with that personally.
Well, here's the thing about Ant-Man. The Hank Pym version was one of the original Avengers, so iconic. Two MCU movies, iconic. In the game, he has this really good kit, but no real team to use it on, and his stats, he's too slow to really make use of that awesome kit that he has. So if you boosted some of his stats, Ant-Man would be a very good character. But now he's just a character that has a good kit, doesn't have the stats to back it up, and no real team to use him in. And even that Ant-Man Wasp synergy doesn't really, there's not really a place for it in the meta right now. So
we have a similar character like that in Galaxy of Heroes that has a great kit, but just nowhere to use it. Fulcrum Ahsoka Tano is just like that. So interesting.
I remember her. She had a lot of damage. She would always kill me.
But she has no synergy with anyone. Yeah, she's only a standalone, and the game's very bent on synergies. Yeah. All right, so there's one more character left here.
All right, this one I'm cheating a little because
you're gonna
this
break
character
my heart.
is on the best team in the game, and people that have played Marvel Strike Force know what team I'm talking about. He's had many movies, not in the MCU, but he's had many movies. Wolverine.
Really?
Is on the best team in the game, the X-Men. He's part of that team. Doesn't really add a lot to that team, but it's very disappointing. Even had a rework.
He should be the best part of that team.
He should be. I mean, that team is all based around Phoenix, though. So Wolverine, you can replace him with somebody else, and
And I'm guessing they launched Phoenix around the new movie.
Good. I'm sorry.
I'm guessing they launched Phoenix around the movie that came out recently.
Yes, they launched Phoenix around the Dark Phoenix movie, and Wolverine got a slight rework around that time, but actually a little later, a little more recently.
Okay.
But, even with that, it's all based on synergy with other characters. Didn't add anything to his standalone values. So outside of that X-Men team, I really don't know where I would be using Wolverine. If Cyclops comes out, if Beast comes out, if one of the other rumored X-Men comes out, they probably will be replacing Wolverine on the team, and Wolverine will be a homeless character at that point. So, yeah, Wolverine, not very good. What do you think about this one?
That's really disappointing to me. I mean, before I'm gonna be upfront. A lot of the MCU characters I didn't really care a lot about until the movies came around. But Wolverine and the X-Men, I was into those comics. I was into the early movies. Yeah. Wolverine is one of those really long time characters that I've always connected with, and I've really loved Wolverine. And so, yeah, that's disappointing. I mean, at least he's in one of the better teams in the game. At least he works there.
The best team in the game.
So you're going to say, the best team in the game. Yes. He's part of the meta right now. Yes. So at least he's there. But yeah, I mean, disappointing that he's not going to be top of that team and likely to be ushered out. So that's interesting. So they're rumored to bring in a new character for that team, and it's already meta.
Well, we've had the kit for Cyclops and Beast in the game for a long time. We've had their character models in the game for a long time. They just haven't been released.
They just don't drop them.
Yeah, they haven't been released. As soon as those characters are released, Wolverine is most likely out of that team, unless they give him another rework or something, and one of those characters is slotted in most likely. So, yeah.
Got it.
He's going to fall off even harder once more X-Men are released. So, that is the list. Well, who are you most surprised by?
I'm most surprised by the Hulk, mostly because of the current state of things. I think from fan perspectives, appealing to the general fandom, I think that most people would be disappointed by Hulk. So maybe he's due for another rework.
I think he is. I think
they need to assemble those Avengers. Come on.
We do.
Should be split up.
Avenger game. We
gotta bring the crew together.
How does a team of Shield minions be more stronger than the Avengers?
Shield minions?
I don't know. Yeah. Yes.
I have no comment.
All right, guys. Let me know who your top 5 most disappointing characters are in the game, based on what you feel they should be based on their MCU or comic book counterparts. So some of these characters, not the worst characters in the game, but especially with the Hulk, what people feel the Hulk should be and where he's at. Yeah, it is disappointing. Disappointing for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, guys. And CubsFan Han, tell everybody where they can find you.
So my main channel, I'm just covering Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes and Star Wars stuff. I would encourage you to check that out if you want to, but if you want to find Strike Force content, my newer channel, CFH, I'm sure you'll drop a link down below the description, is where you can find me, and I'm going to start uploading very, very regular Strike Force videos, including a collab I just did with my man, ValleyFlyin.
Nice. That one actually might be up because I'm waiting a little while to drop this video. So.
I'll probably beat you to the punch.
Check out that video. It's probably up right now, guys. I hope you guys are having a happy holidays. And CubsFan, thank you once again for joining me here. Now, if you guys like this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Tell all of your friends. Let's grow this channel, guys. Smash on that like button. Join the notification squad. All that good stuff. There's some links to support the channel down below. There's some merch. There's some other stuff. There's my second channel, ValleyFlyin.
Tons of merch for you, dude.
Ton of merch.
Tons of merch. I need to get on the merch train like you. My God.
Designs. All right, guys. Thank you guys once again. Happy holidays. I will see you guys next time. Hulk fist bump, baby. Make sure you guys are checking me out on social media. ValleyFlyin out.